Hi everyone, my name is Al, and thank you for tuning into this video segment of continual spiritual growth, understanding ourselves, our environment, as well as walking in our own power. Today, I want to talk about something that I briefly mentioned in my last video, which was alcohol. And if you want to check out that video, I'll link it right here. And in my last video, I shared an experience where I found myself in a very unusual dream, and that the likely cause for this dream experience was due to drinking. Basically, in a nutshell, because I never drink, I never have shady dreams. I drink once, shady dreams comes along. So it's a rather simple formula. And this personally sparked an interest in me to do a little research on the connection between alcohol and spirituality. And to be honest, I found a bit more than I expected, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about here today, the connection between alcohol and spirituality. First, let's take a look at etymology of the word alcohol. Now, etymology just means the roots of a specific word. The origins of the word alcohol comes from Arabic, alcohol, which means body-eating spirit, and gives root origins to the English word. The word alcohol is also linked to the fixed star in astronomy known as Algol, part of the demon's head. Algol is also Beta Persei, a prototype of a class of variable stars called eclipsing binaries, and is the second brightest star in the northern constellation Perseus. And in this constellation, Algol, as I said, is a part of the demon's head that is seen when you look at the big picture, which I didn't know that beforehand. I'm sure that you didn't know that either. So there you go. In Middle Eastern folklore, a ghoul is an evil demon thought to eat human bodies, either stolen corpses or little children. Creepy enough. And by consuming alcohol, the body has an effect of extracting the very essence of the soul, allowing the body to be more susceptible to lower frequencies. Essentially, allowing the body to be vulnerable for consumption. Old ideas suggest that because the living conditions of the body become so polluted, the good soul of the body leaves, and the body is then influenced by hedonistic, self-serving spirits on an illogical rampage, using our bodies as vehicles for their desires. And essentially, according to these old ideas, when someone blacks out after heavy drinking and polluting their bodies with drinking as well as other ways, their body often becomes possessed by another entity, according to these old ideas. Now, let me ask you this. Is it a mystery now why some drinks and liquor stores have the word spirits on them? I know you've seen it. Think about that. But we also know that ingesting alcohol depresses the nervous system, it weakens the immune system, it causes dis-ease, it makes the body more toxic, and other things that doesn't really do the body any favors. And we'll talk a little bit about these. One of these unfavorable things that we have to deal with when we drink is that our thoughts can have a tendency to turn more negative. And we essentially move backwards when we allow ourselves to be consumed and wrapped in negativity. Now, don't get me wrong, negativity is something that we face and battle every day. And that's the fact of the matter. It's what we do in the face of negativity, however, is what allows us to continually grow on our spiritual journey. But if we willingly bask ourselves in the heat of negativity and entertain it, well, you know that you're not doing yourself or others around you any favors. Another thing that alcohol does to hinder us on our spiritual journey is that it is responsible for mucus buildup. And while you won't choke on mucus that is building in your throat, it will handicap your ability to do breathing exercises properly and comfortably. Now, I can't tell you guys how much I loved meditation when I started to receive the benefits of it. But I can tell you how frustrating it was and sometimes is when you have mucus in your throat while in meditation and you're trying to breathe deeply in and out. You know, it's just it's a hurdle and it's not fun to deal with. Drinking causes mucus, and mucus buildup in your sinuses makes it harder to do these breathing exercises. Another thing that it does is that it hinders your vibe. You know, some will phrase it as alcohol dulling your prana. You know, your energy just goes down. You know, I like to think of it as this energetic ball and chain that is locked onto your own energy. So you also lose awareness in yourself. Your awareness drops in your body, you lose focus, and your connection to your intuitive side is hampered. You know, you start thinking about things that aren't necessarily relevant to you, and there's a tendency to focus on old thoughts, old pains, painful memories, and that's likely not something that you were trying to deal with at that time. You know, there's a time and place to deal with that. And while you're drinking, it's likely that's not the time and place. And on top of all this, in 2015, the World Health Organization found that glyphosate, which is a Roundup and weed killer, is a probable carcinogen. In 2018, there was a man who was awarded $78 million claiming that Roundup was a major cause of his cancer. So the U.S. Public Research Group then researched and found 20 different alcoholic brands that had traces of glyphosate and weed killer in them. And I can't make this stuff up, so I'm gonna link the video in the description below of a video that talks about this. And basically drinks like Budweiser, Corona, Sam Adams, and Heineken all had traces of weed killer in them. And, you know, weed killer causes cancer. So, you know, if you need a little boost to get yourself to stay away from drinking too much, there's some statistical motivation right there for you. You know, thank me later. Or not, you know? And to be honest, I feel like this video is pretty anti-drinking so far. I mean, it is, but, you know, I want to say something to bring a little bit of balance to this. You know, ultimately, the choice to do whatever it is that you choose to do ultimately comes down to you. You are the master of your life, and perhaps you may need to drink in order to truly understand what it feels like to be in a toxic vibe, so that you can better understand what it is to truly feel clean. I say this because this is similar to my experience with sugar. There was a time where I retired sugar. I then spent time at a gathering, you know, ate more food and sugar than I should have eaten, and I fell back into eating everything that had sugar and chemicals because it tastes so good. You know, I mean, it's engineered to be really addictive, and I fell back into it. And it wasn't until my energy was completely nerfed, my IQ felt like it dropped 5 points, and my body felt acidic. Take the sugar away, now I actually feel alive again. You know, I'm actually here in the present moment. To be honest, if it wasn't for my time being unhealthy, I wouldn't be able to fully understand what it means to be healthy, you know? So that's my personal takeaway with that. And with everything being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something new. If you like this video, then I would like to kindly ask that you please click that like button. And if you haven't already, be sure to join me on my journey and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so that you are notified when I put out a new video, which is 2 times a week, one on Wednesdays and another on Sundays. Thank you very much for watching, and in my native tongue, I say, ha home.